quick. Hooray! Hey, now it's sliding. Like shape. Over 100 into church, there's the rotation. Yay, he's got it. I don't know, the battery was red, it's cut the power like at 138, but it was brake warnings, there was the battery, like coming past there, I had no power those last 2 laps, and it's not stability even when you're straightening up. Good morning everybody, welcome, my name's Richard, and this is a new Tesla Model 3 Performance, and this is Thruxton race circuit. So we're going to put this car on track and see exactly if the new Model 3 Performance is much better than the old one. Tesla promises better brakes, better acceleration, better aero, better handling. We've now got adaptive dampers, so how is that going to stack up? We did find with the previous Model 3 Performance, although it's quite firm on the road, this circuit here especially does expose some of the deficiencies in its suspension. It went a bit wobbly. We've got corners which are very high speed here. In fact, although this is the highest speed circuit in the UK, there is not one single straight. It is all corners, so it's a really good place to test the car and see what it's made of. So in this video, I'm going to tell you what it's like. How does it compare to the old car? What's it like doing a track day in an electric car? How long do I have to spend charging? How far will it go? So I'm Richard, this is Rsev, and this is Thruxton track day with motorsport-events.com. Okay, so we're just about to go out now. They just finished doing sighting laps, which I haven't joined. I've been here before. So I've got 96% of the battery now, and we can record here since that charge what we get for actual track miles before we have to charge again. So I did cover 9 miles since I topped this up. So 299 watt-hours per mile is a bit more normal, but I think that's going to go up. What I'll show you before we go on track is that I'm going to engage the Tesla track mode. So come to controls here, and under dynamics, although I can change on the road these items, I do have to be in park and I can put it in track mode. Gives me a thing, yeah, let's do that, no problem at all. And I'm going to start off using the race preset. Now I can come to create my own profile and adjust things like regenerative braking, stability assist, but I'm just going to stick with their current race preset. Now it brings up this display here, so I'm starting off with the tyre pressures at 41, one at 42. Doesn't matter how much you adjust them. So also what I can do here is set the start finish line. So I can put that down as here and tap and hold map. There we go, so that's the start finish line. And then when we go out, I'm going to hit start and it will automatically record the lap time. As you can see here with Thruxton, it's still got an active aerodrome in the middle, but although it's the fastest circuit, there are no straights. That is the runway, that is not part of the circuit. So let's head out of the pits, get my first impressions of this car. Of course, with track day, it's always best to just start off steady, build up. We'll see how well these tyres come up to temperature, because the previous Pirellis on the Uber turbines, they weren't too good, and we found even after a couple of warm-up laps they were going to jelly. But these tyres are still Pirelli, but they're newer ones, they're wider. Let's see how they hold up. Let's get a bit of a feel for the car over the first couple of laps. I'll switch to the GoPro, give my first impressions. Let's go. And I'm going to take Joe with me.
Cool beans.
So, what's quite good about these track days is always a complete mixture of different vehicles here. It's always quite interesting to see. Some people got highly modified stuff. There's people putting slick tyres on Minis. There's Porsches. There's a Morris Minor that's modified going around.
There's all sorts of stuff. It's rather fun, isn't it?
Okay, new Model 3 Performance on track. Let's do it. I haven't actually driven on this circuit for about a year, but I did come here a couple of weeks ago and watch the touring cars. I stood just over there. Okay, so anything coming out of there? It feels completely different on a track over the crest here. And this is first corner here. You've got to really sort of brake as you're still turning a little bit, get it into the chicane. So we should have nice firm dampers now. It's got nice turning and rotation. I'm not pushing it too hard at all. Got to get used to it. So turning and natural rotation is good. It still has some stability on in track mode. Now we can start picking up a bit of speed. Coming to this faster left here, and again take it a little bit steady, find my lines. And this now opens out into the back section, which is very fast. You've got some cones out to stop you going too wide there. So the rotation feels good. Tesla have done some work on these brakes. This section's always hairy because we're doing over 100 miles an hour coming to the outside of the circuit. This is church, and when we're up to speed in a few laps time, we'll be coming around here probably over 100 miles an hour. In fact, there's 100 now. And it's this final section where Porsche Taycan was getting up to about 145 miles an hour. It was 130 there on my warm-up lap. This corner here, this left-hander, It's a bit sketchy because you kind of brake, you turn, the car gets unsettled. So this is where the new dampers need to have good body control. Whee! Now we're starting to get a bit of rotation going. Second lap round, let's pin it. We're doing 100 mile an hour around the right-hander. These seats are holding in much better now. Let it fall to the left-hand side of the track here. I am going to brake a bit for church, mainly because there's a BMW going a lot slower than me. Yep, he's let me by, but he held me up. So even then I can tell it's more settled than the old performance on those fast right-handers. Okay, let's pin these brakes a bit, let's test these.
That's it, get nice and cooled down.
A little bit of pedal travel, but they're just firming up there actually as I came to the end of that braking zone.
That's it.
So it's rotating quite nicely, but with the default track mode there's still some stability on there. Wait, wait. Hey, now it's sliding. So it is allowing rotation on the brakes, still in the corner here. Tyres are squealing for their lives already.
Oh, they're scrabbling away.
See, the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S, like on Clint, they would hold up really well, but I've never found the Pirellis on the other ones any good. So let's see if these newer Pirellis are much good. Or we get some warm of the battery. It's well balanced. I can put the front end where I want it, which is what I want. A little bit of lift off just gives a bit of rotation as well. And now I'm foot flat down. It's holding the speed back a bit. And I'm going to have to brake for this car here. Come on, BMW M3 competition, you're in my way. Oh, as I jabbed the brakes a bit harder, that bedded in and braked nicely then actually. The tyres are squealing. Oh, they feel painful, don't they?
They do. They're being tortured a little bit.
I can't do this all day because they're going to be dead.
They will be.
I'm going to have to take it steady, but I want to see what this car does properly once I've got a good battery. All right, I am to the floor. It's holding the power back there. Brakes too hot. Braking performance reduced already.
Wow.
So I better ease off here. So I'm only doing 121. That was 145 in the Porsche Taycan 4S. It's limiting me. I don't have anything.
Oh, that's a shame. You've not really been out very long.
Now, interestingly, in the old performance, on stock pads, I didn't actually get a brake warning at Thruxton. Although you got that one fast braking zone, it was enough on the rest of the track to cool it down. So it's interesting to have that. I don't have full power. I mean, I'm 93, 94, 94. What's going on there? Nice rotation there. Just as I lifted off and turned in. But that's me flat out.
You should have so much more.
It's only just eking up to 115. Well, I'm going to keep pushing it. Let's see what it really manages or doesn't manage. This is it, flat out.
Oh, this is terrible.
That's it. I mean, this is way quicker car than that. See, this is where I want the power. So
yeah.
I don't think this is just stability because I'm not even loaded up right now. I am flat out. Come on.
There's nothing there.
I'm struggling, there's a Peugeot there, just about catching in, but... So, what have we got on here? Couldn't really pay too much attention. Battery temperature's red. Brakes red. Motors orange. We didn't have any restrictions with the M3 before, did we?
No. Only
at all.
when we lose a percentage of the battery, yes.
Yeah, but not like red battery and heavily restricted
No, we
power.
overheated the battery.
And it's not stability because it's just... Like across here, I'm just flat down and it's not doing anything.
And you're 64%.
So initial impressions, like it could be good because it's got quite a nice balance and you can feel it. It's got the stability on with the track mode, but it's a rotation on lift off and it just comes in nicely into the corners. The brakes initially felt soft, but then they firmed up, then they overheated. So.
They smell bad, yeah.
And you can smell them.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be better if I'm honest.
Yeah.
So we'll let it
cool
cool
down.
and try another couple of sessions.
Okay,
So this is going to be Gints having a go, so you just take my opinion. Let's see how the battery holds up. We've been waiting, what, 40 minutes or so it's all cooled down. I want to see, just pushing on a bit, if we get the same battery overheating issue or not, and the power limitation.
It has much bigger potential than previous Model 3 performance, that's for sure. taking it really steady, but yeah, it could go much quicker.
Yeah.
Much quicker. Brake, oh nice.
Yeah, it does actually get a nice bite on it. I just found that the travel on the pedal was varying a little bit as it was getting hotter, so. But that power on there is good, and that's what I just then got. It just disappeared.
Nice.
The damping on those bumps on the corner there, much better, huh?
Beautiful, yeah. Nice brake fill. Really nice brake fill.
And now the tyres are squealing.
Nice rotation.
Actually called itself then.
There's a crazy corner.
So this bit that really exposed the old suspension, didn't it? Those bumps there, and it was just getting all out of shape. Over 100 into church, there's a rotation. Yay, he's got it. Lift off rotation.
Yeah. Beautiful, but so easy to control.
Yeah.
So easy. Really good.
Well, it held the battery on that one.
It came, I think, next one more lap and
Yeah.
that would be it.
Yeah.
That's why I just took it in, because it's, yeah, we'll probably be cruising last lap. But really nice, yeah, really nice.
So we've just peeled in after Ginz's laps there where it managed the battery, but I'm going to take this straight back out now so that I'll punish it because we didn't have any battery overheat on that one, but then Ginz has been a bit more steady because it doesn't want to crash a new car, I guess, is probably the main thing. I'll also try and feel now if I'm just losing power just because of the state of charge. So I'm heading out now with 47%. Since charging, 100%, I've done 30 miles. I want to conserve my tyres a little bit, so I'm not going to do quite such fast cornering, I'd say. That's what I say anyway.
You say that every time?
Yeah, it never goes quite like that. You get carried away in the moment, don't you? Well, the brakes are definitely bedded in nicely now. They feel good.
Bit better than mine.
Squealing, they're probably a bit high in pressure, so I'm taking it steady through here. I would normally pin it harder. Okay, what do we got? I'm flat out. 100, 10, and then I'm going to brake a bit for this. I'm going to take this too wild. All steady through here. So here we go, 120, it's getting better, so it's warming up now, you can see there. 125, now we cool the battery much higher speeds. Well, I'm pinning it, it feels like it's starting to restrict me, but again, part of it could be state of charge now. It's getting hotter, it's getting hotter. I'm pushing it now, battery temperature's going right up, I'm reading 126, getting better. Just hit a button with the steering wheel. Now that feels like that's limiting me now. I'm flat out now, that's it.
Gone?
Yeah, it's gone again.
Okay.
This is it, flat out. Can you feel the difference there?
Nothing there, is there?
I don't think that's just state of charge, I think that's now power restriction.
Yeah.
For a standard production car,
Out the box, yeah.
out of the box is pretty good, other than it's cutting the power because of the battery heat there.
Yeah.
The frustrating thing is the old car didn't do that. Right, John from Tivo Solutions, bit of a race expert. You teach race instruction.
Try to.
Let's see what you think of this car.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to do any racing. I'm just going to...
Yeah, just get a feel for what you think of it. This is the first time you've driven the 2024, I guess.
It is,
so.
yeah, very first time. So interested to see how it feels, actually.
Well, fortunately, we're down to below 30% battery, so you won't quite get the full beans here.
You can't break the lap record. That's a shame.
I guess these different Pirelli tyres, different brakes, different aero, different suspension. How's it going to feel?
Yeah, that's what I'm interested to find out. The original one, in fact, when I first got my performance back in 19, the first track I took it to was here in Thruxton.
Oh, right.
And
Then you started modifying it.
Well, yeah, had to, because immediately you could feel through a corner like this, you could feel the back end was kind of hopping. The thing is, there's not a lot of travel on the rear shocks on the standard original Performance or any of the Model 3s. So the car will be riding on its bump stops
Okay.
very early in the corner. So that would mean basically your spring rate's gone up massively, you know, which is not a good thing.
Let's see what you feel of this one with its
Yeah.
adaptive dampers now.
It feels, I mean, it definitely feels a lot different, I have to say, straight away, even through the slow stuff. It's still a little bit floaty, I'd say. There's, you know, if you come on and off the throttle through a corner, you can feel it load up and unload. You know? I'd say, you know, it's not as sure-footed as a good conventional kind of coilover setup.
Yeah.
Like, you know, a really good one like Olin's or,
Yeah.
dare I say it, TiVo.
Exactly. It's got to be the best one, of course.
But, you know, but it's different. This is production suspension. You know, they build it for a cost.
And it's comfortable on the road.
Yeah, that's
It's
a good thing.
Yeah. As you know, I do a few miles. I mean, haven't even had this car 2 weeks yet. I've done 1,500 odd miles, so it's good for me on the road. And if we can do this as well.
Yeah, I think if you're the occasional kind of track day, you know, enthusiast, you don't want something too extreme. So it's, you know, you have to go quite extreme to make it really, really stable and really lovely on the track, you know.
That's it, and then you compromise on the road, yeah.
Exactly. It's just, it makes it a bit too nervous and a little bit too, you know, just uncomfortable for most people. But, you know, this is a good balance. I mean, the brakes are pretty nice. They're pretty linear, and I can feel, you know, that you could trail brake this very nicely.
Yep.
Even at this 50-50 handling we've got it at the moment.
It's climbing one more notch now, it's getting more red. So now you're red.
Okay, yeah. I'll come in now anyway.
So the battery temperature's coming down quite quickly.
Oh, let's go into service mode. Actually, let's just stop here.
Yep.
Go into service mode quickly straight away so we can see what it's like as we come off track.
59.
Right. Well, see, now that is odd because, like I said earlier, when I was charging with mine, it was at 55 and it still said the battery was at a low temperature.
Oh, really?
So I'm getting the feeling that this battery pack can't operate in such a wide window, maybe, you know?
It's coming down quite quickly, so that's now not showing as hot.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it must be when it peaks over 60 or something.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
And very quickly, let's see how that's already now halfway down.
Yeah, but this isn't dropping like a stone. I mean, it's
But on
coming
there
down.
it's not dropping
but-
like a stone, yeah.
No, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, you wouldn't get this, but this is why
No.
this circuit's quite good as a tester.
Yeah, well, it is, but I still don't. I have to go back and have a look at some video. I still don't remember this being so much of an issue with the older one. You said it wasn't when you driven it.
No,
and,
driven the older car here.
You know, the other guys that usually are within our little group that do often 10 laps at a time, they've done that round here, and I don't think it was a problem. But
No, not that I've ever heard of either. So that's the
No.
75 pack and the 82 packs, and they've been good.
yeah.
So, interesting.
Back to the
Brakes are
floor.
better for stock brakes.
Yeah, the brakes I thought were pretty good actually. We didn't get the warning.
No.
That was very progressive, and yeah, their bite was there. They're actually not far off proper track pads. I felt.
Well, apparently these are what was in the Model 3 track pack upgrade before is
That's
what's
right.
now in this as stock.
Yeah, exactly. Now, and I went to see those pads at a service centre because I'm trying to find out what they are, and nobody knows.
Oh, really?
No, there's no. Well, we know that they're because the manufacturer's on the box, so it is a Brembo pad. But the trouble is, even Brembo in Europe, which I've got a good dialogue with,
Yeah.
don't know, and
Right.
they can't find out because it's a deal that they've obviously done in America or in China, and
Yeah.
whatever the compound is, it's kind of a secret.
Right.
Which is a bit of a shame because you kind of need to know, you know, the data on the pads so you can understand stuff like, do you need to warm them up? You know, what's the maximum temperature for them?
Yeah.
That's all really useful when you're doing anything on the track. So, but what can we do? You know, they're just the track pads, and that's what they are. You know, but now I've driven on them for the first time. Yeah, I think they feel pretty
Actually
good
okay,
actually.
weren't they?
Yeah. Definitely, they're improvements.
The master cylinder you checked as well.
Yeah, well, the master cylinder, is much better because the old one had a lot of flex on it because the bulkhead wasn't very well reinforced.
Yes.
So I think somebody said that they'd actually got better on the Model Ys because they'd learnt from that.
Right, okay.
And this, I mean, is nowhere near like the original.
yeah, the original one you've
car.
got to modify it with one of your kits, really, haven't
you can put a bracket on it and you can make it feel stiffer,
Yeah,
and it makes
interesting.
quite a lot of difference, you know, in terms of the feel of the brake pedal actually.
Yeah.
So now you've taken that play out, because that play on the old one was probably as much as 10 millimeters. You know, and that,
that's really-
through your foot, that kind of is amplified. It feels like a lot more than it is.
Yeah, I took a couple of steady laps, and then kind of the third lap you're building up,
Yeah.
and by fourth the battery went.
Yeah.
So it wasn't hammering it from go one either, you know, and we had a bit of
Yeah.
traffic there which delayed it as well, because it does come back down quickly,
Yeah.
but it's that longer section. Yeah, but-
This is the slightly frustrating thing with a car like this that maybe can only do 5 laps or 6 laps, let's say, on a good day without you know, the battery overheating, because you do need those first 1 to 2 laps to get the right amount of heat in the tyres and
Yeah.
maybe the brakes, you know. But you've got to do that gradually. You can't just go out and hammer it from the first corner
Yeah.
and expect to get your fastest lap on the first lap because you've got 98% charge. You know,
Yeah.
it won't work like that. And what you'll do is you'll route your tyres. You'll probably overheat your brakes, and so you're going to get slower after that. You have to build up gradually. Even if you know the circuit like the back of your hand,
Yeah.
and you know the car like the back of your hand, you still need to give it that 1 to 2 laps just to get everything warm, you know,
Getting going.
and working. Particularly the tyres, you know, and particularly road tyres, because if you go too fast too soon on road tyres, they'll go over the cliff and they'll overheat.
Yes.
And then your times will just go.
You're just getting hot on the surface, but it's still colder inside. And,
Plus, you'll get actually bits of the tread blocks will be melting, coming off. And
Yes, yeah.
you know,
Well,
so
I've
you'll
had that
destroy
before,
them.
so that was my
Yeah.
fault over that one.
It's
yeah.
possible
On
to
this one,
destroy road tyres in just 1 10-lap session, brand new road tyres,
Right.
if you don't pay attention to warming them
I've
up
done
correctly.
that before.
Yeah.
That was my fault then.
And also look,
I blame
well,
the tyres completely, but that was
everyone
my fault.
does.
Just going out and hammering it.
yeah, no, I mean everyone does, but you've got to think about all those things that are. It's a dynamic environment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Driving a car, so everything you're doing, because also if you're more aggressive on the steering, guess what's happening? You're
Yeah.
putting more work through the front tyres, so
Yeah.
they're going to get hotter. You know, so again, smoothness means that you can keep those tyres gradually building up temperature
Yeah.
and stop them from going off that cliff.
Yeah.
You know, and if
That
you
makes
start
a
to
lot of
feel
sense.
them overheating, the best thing is to do a cool down lap and come in and let them cool off.
Yeah.
Don't keep on hoping that things are going to get better when they're just going to get worse.
They're
you know?
just only going to get worse.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's interesting. I mean, we saw the battery go red again, even at with less performance. But on the original 75s, you've done so many track days with them, and people you know have done track days. The overheating was not an issue like this one.
Not
was
that
it?
I remember, no.
So
no.
maybe this seems like it would need some work, really.
So this is a big step forward, the seats for sure.
Cool. Good
You
to
know.
get your input. Be interesting to see what if there's software updates that can improve the battery management.
I would think
Definitely.
there would be if
Yeah.
they've got some more data on it, but
They must have the physical hardware to cool this pack down. Yeah.
if not, there are some third-party, vendors that are coming out with extra radiators and stuff to do that. I don't know. I've always been a bit sceptical about in the UK whether it's worth doing that. Really,
We're going to be good to see some of the footage from US cars, the
Yeah.
82 pack,
Yeah.
whether that manages it better. Yeah.
I think the big question mark really for a lot of things at the moment is what are the differences in practical terms between the US battery pack and
Yes.
the one that we get in Europe and
We'd
UK.
love to know, yeah.
Because so far we've seen a few comparisons on quarter-mile times, and they're
Yeah.
half a second difference on a quarter mile, which is a lot
Yes, it
for
is, yeah.
someone that's into drag racing.
Yes.
We're just into 0 to 60s, so I think it's about the same. It's it's basically an improvement, but it's about the
Yeah,
same
so
between the packs.
I think, well, I know 0 to 60 is quicker than any of the previous ones. We've done draggy on that on the same conditions, same day. But I think after 40, 50,
Yeah,
I don't think there's anything in it personally.
right.
I don't think there's anything in it.
Although
We'll see.
we have definitely seen better speeds down the back straight here before the chicane by
Yeah.
probably at least 5 miles an hour
Yeah.
more. So now that's not all because it's coming through church quicker. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think it is holding more power up the back straight. So I do think there is a difference, but I think it's more subtle.
I'm going to look back at my previous video because I think I was getting like 134, 135 in the 82 pack. 21 plate Model 3 Performance I was being around here because I remember the Taycan was doing like 145
Yeah.
in the 4S. So
Yeah, yeah.
I remember thinking I was way off that, but still pretty hefty.
Yeah. But I mean the Taycan, because it's got gears, it's
Yeah,
cheating.
it still just pulls that
Basically
more
cheating.
at the higher speed. Yeah, it just has that pull. I wonder whether this keep that pull going a bit better.
Yeah, I think they're going to struggle really because I think that's kind of physics limiting it, and
Yeah.
unless they put a second gear in, I can't see how they're going to do it, But unless they've got some fantastic new motor technology,
800 volt battery.
maybe, maybe, but
I really
Got more
appreciate
competitive.
your expert opinion on that, mate.
pleasure.
Really interesting.
Thanks for letting me
Good
have
to
a
get a
quick
ride.
few laps. No,
We've
it's
got-
been good.
So just to finish the video off, I've come back to the Amesbury chargers, which are only 7 miles from Thruxton circuit. I've got 2% battery. I left it with 100% earlier. and I've covered 57 miles. Now the circuit is 7 miles that way, 7 miles back, so that's 43 miles on track. And at the length of Thruxton, that means 18.7 laps you can do. So yeah, but it doesn't sound like much, but actually that's enough for morning sessions. You normally charge up and head back. So there's how to get 250 kilowatt charging speed. Plug in at 3% of a hot battery. We're rolling, okay, well look, that's the new Model 3 Performance on track. Good in that it does handle nicely. It's not as good as a modified Model 3 Performance, which is quite easy to do. Loads of parts available for the original Model 3 Performance, making awesome track cars. How they're going to be modified, given that they've got the adaptive dampers in these, I don't quite know on that yet. But as a road car, it's great, but it's still a road car. The tyres are a bit of a limiting factor here for sure. The biggest limiting factor is, of course, that battery temperature. Consistently by 4 laps, we're getting overheating battery, massive power losses. So as it stands right now, it's a bit of a disappointment because you just can't run lap after lap, which you could do with the original car. Now, can that be fixed with software updates for the track mode version 3? I don't know, because it depends on what the hardware is for cooling. It's a surprise today to see that, to be honest. So in that sense, a bit of a disappointment. How many people are going to push that hard on track? We did see if you don't push really hard on maybe a track not quite with such a fast circuit like Thruxton, it might be absolutely fine. But for Thruxton, you know, I'm left a little bit disappointed. I can't keep running it. So I hope that's been interesting. Be interested to see if there are other cars coming out the track and get similar results, similar overheating batteries, or maybe the US cars with the 82 pack. Do they get overheating batteries? So as more videos come out, it will be really interesting to see the data that comes from that. But from us for now, that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope it's been useful. Make sure you stay subscribed for more videos coming soon.